everybody, this is Diana from So Very Crafty, and we are here today to make this terrific little fabric, reusable, recyclable gift bag. That's what we have today. Christmas isn't that far away, and birthdays are never far away, so today is the day that we're going to make a gift bag. And this is a super simple project. I don't even show any sewing in this project because it's all straight stitches, very easy to make. This is another beginner sewing project that anybody with basic sewing skills can make in no time. It is lined and reusable, so I hope you give this project a try. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ding that bell for notifications so that you can get future So Very Crafty videos in your inbox, and head over to the website at www.soverycrafty.com for more sewing and crafting tutorials that you don't see here on the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in a reusable, very cute gift bag for this Christmas or for birthdays or other holidays, stay tuned on how to learn how to make this super simple project. So let's get started. So how do we get started on this terrific little reusable gift bag? It's very simple. You only need 3 pieces of fabric, a little bit of webbing, or you could actually make this out of fabric if you like. It's 1-inch webbing that you're going to use as a handle for this little bag. You're going to need the pattern, which I will put in the description section of the video. That is going to be the flap for our gift bag, and some cam snaps. And I'm going to show you how to go about installing these cam snaps onto our project today. I also have a video here on YouTube on how to install cam snaps, and they are very simple to do once you have the tool and the cam snaps. The first thing you're going to do is you are going to cut out of your flap fabric, and I've used 3 different colors of fabric for this project, 2 pieces of fabric out of my pattern piece. You are then going to cut for your outer fabric and your lining fabric 1 each that measures 23 7/8 by 11.5 inches wide. And that's all the fabric that you need for this project. I'll put these measurements, of course, in the description section of the video so that you have them, you don't have to mark them. Now, ordinarily, I would recommend that you use an all-over fabric, like this lining fabric, rather than a directional fabric, but I happen to have this fabric on hand, so I'm going to use it because this ultimately is going to kind of get folded, and so part of my bag is going to end up upside down. So I would recommend using a non-directional fabric for this project, but I had this on hand, and so we're going to use this today. The other thing you're going to need is a 23 7/8 by 11.5 inch piece of fusible interfacing, and I've used Pellon SF101 for my project today. And you're also going to need a piece from your pattern piece of that fusible interfacing. This, if I didn't say it earlier, piece of webbing is 8.5 inches long, or you can make it out of fabric, 1 inch by 8.5 inches long handle. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to fuse our interfacing to our project. And I've already done that for you. Just follow your manufacturer's instructions and use a hot iron. And I've done that to my outer fabric and to one piece of my flap piece. Very simple. Just use your hot iron, follow your manufacturer's instructions, and that's all you need to do. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to create our flap. We're going to take our two flap pieces and we're going to place them right sides together. Just like that. We are then going to stitch along the sides and the bottom using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we're going to flip it right sides out and top stitch all the way around. And that's all there is to making this flap. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to show it on the video, as all it is a straight stitch all the way around the bottom, flip over and top stitch all the way around the bottom. We're going to leave the top open so that we can turn this right sides out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's our flap, turned right sides out and top stitched. Now we're going to take our outer piece and we are going to find the center. And I'm just going to finger press the center here. And using a heat erasable pen, I'm just going to put a mark. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure 1 1/4 inch on either side and make another mark. I'm going to take my 8.5 inch webbing, or whatever I'm using as my handle, and I'm just going to place this right here and I'm going to clip it right on those marks. I'm going to go back over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to stitch using about an 1/8 inch seam allowance right across here to secure that so that it's I can take these clips off. Now my handle is on. Now it's time to add my flap. So I'm going to find the center of my flap, finger press it a little bit, and I'm just going to line it up with the center mark that I previously made, and I'm going to clip it. And once again, I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I am going to add the flap using, again, about an 1/8 inch seam allowance, and I will be right back. Now we have our flap added. It's time to add our lining. And I'm just using this white fabric that I had on hand. I'm going to line it up the top and clip it. You can use pins if you want, but I like these clips for this, especially where it's bulky. And I'm just going to clip the top and the bottom. For now. I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch right across the top and the bottom using about a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And I'll be right back. Now that I have stitched the top and the bottom, I'm going to fold this in half so that the outer fabric is right sides together and the lining fabric is right sides together, and this center seam is even. Now you can press these seams open if you like. It's a little bit difficult where you have stitched along the top, so I'm just going to nest my seams to make sure that they are even. So let's just do that. We are going to make sure these seams are going in opposite directions and that they are lined up, and we're going to clip right there. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. And that way we can make sure that our seams here are lined up. And we're just going to clip all the way around. And we are going to stitch along the sides using our 3/8 inch seam allowance, but we're going to leave an opening in the side because we're going to ultimately have to turn this bag right sides out. So let's go over to the sewing machine, stitch along each side using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, leaving an opening for turning. Now we have finished stitching. We have our opening. We're going to turn this right sides out by sticking our hand through the top and pulling this through the opening in the lining and through the opening in the top. And as you can see, we have our flap, we have our handle, and we have our bag. And as you can see, part of our bag is upside down, which is why you should use an all-over fabric rather than a directional fabric like I've done here. And you can use a little poking tool to poke out these corners if you like. I'm just using my finger here for the moment. You can see our bag is starting to take shape. Now I'm going to just run over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this opening closed. I'm going to now push this lining into the bag. And as you can see, our bag is starting to take shape. Now we're going to push the bag so that the lining side is facing out. And again, we want to make sure that our top is nice and even and our seam around the top is nice and even, because we're going to do some stitching on the bottom. Make sure everything is nice and tight on the inside. And we are going to fold this bag toward the center 1.5 inches. And put a clip. And we're going to do that for both sides. And then we are going to stitch along the bottom using about an 1/8 inch seam allowance, just along the bottom here and the bottom here, using an 1/8 inch seam allowance. And then we're going to come back and finish up this project. Now that we have stitched this bottom, we are going to turn our bag right sides out. And you can see that we have the beginnings of what is similar to a boxed corner. And we are then going to match up our seams just like a boxed corner, where the bottom seam and the side seam match. And we are going to clip. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. And once we've done that, we are simply going to stitch right along where we have boxed our corner on the bottom, and then we're going to finish up this bag. Now, you will notice that there's a slight folding of the sides where the box corners are. I'm going to go over to my iron, and I am just going to iron a nice crisp fold along these sides so that we have a nice fold for our bag. And I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, I have pressed these folds, and while I was over at the sewing machine, I top stitched all the way around the top of the bag to give it a little more professional look. Now it's time to add our cam snap. And I am going to simply clip my corners here. I'm going to fold my flap down, and I am going to mark where I want my cam snap to go. Now, my cam snap kit is like this. It comes with a lot of different colors of cam snaps, and it comes with this cam snap setting tool, a few other things, and a very sharp awl. I'm going to take my awl. First thing I'm going to do is find the center. Just do that. Find the center of my flap, which is right here, and I'm just going to poke a hole. And this awl is the perfect size for my cam snap prong. Now the cam snaps come in two halves. You have, both halves come with what looks like a thumbtack, and then there is a female side and a male side. We are going to take our thumbtack and we are going to place it face down through the hole that we just created. And now we can take either our female side or our male side, it doesn't really matter, and we're going to place it on top of that thumbtack. We're going to take our pliers. There's a black side and sort of a cream colored side. That black side is going to go on the thumbtack, and the cream side is going to go on the pointy side, and we're just going to press down. And what that does is it folds down the pointy side so that it is flat and it can't come loose. Now we are going to fold down our cam snap again, or flap again, and we're just going to find where we need to put our other half of our cam snap, which is right here. This time, however, we are going to place our thumbtack on the reverse side of our bag, and we're going to put the male side on the front, and again press exactly the same way that we did for the other side. And that's our cam snap added and our bag complete. So that's all there is to making this nice little reusable gift bag. Super simple, straight stitches, very easy to make. I hope you enjoyed this project today. It is perfect for Christmas, for birthdays, for any holiday that you want to give a gift. Choose fabrics to make it your own. You could also use a Pellon 808 to make it a little sturdier if you like, if you want it to stand up on its own. It's completely up to you. But that's all there is to this project. Again, I hope you enjoyed this project today. It's a super simple one. If you enjoyed it, as usual, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ding that bell for notifications, and if you want more sewing and crafting tutorials, head over to the website at www.sewverycrafty.com. You'll find this project and many, many more that you don't find here on the YouTube channel. So head over there and check it out. And come back again to the YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. And I will see you guys for the next So Very Crafty video next time. Bye.